course. Well, it's not going to happen because Donald Trump confirmed today he's not doing another one. So, give him a little break. That one left a mark. That one left a mark. So he's with it. So, look, who he was on full display the other night. His true colors were out there. Not just his makeup. Not just his makeup.
That's Tim Walz's signature style, which people are learning about. And while there's plenty of back and forth in politics, I would add, fact check, true. Donald Trump was on display, and we are so accustomed to him getting away with things and running away from his record that the combination of Kamala Harris being very good at this, and that's demonstrated, but also evolution and learning within the media and the fact-checking that occurred at that debate, which has not always been standard, as well as our civic discourse. If I can sound so high-minded on this Friday at the end of the week, I think more people are on to the tricks and the lies and the BS. And so the idea here that Donald Trump both lost and is running away from her, running away from another debate, and has been forced to tell the truth about that. After lying all through Tuesday, Kamala Harris and her campaign and her efficacy has him telling the truth, apparently, on this issue by Friday, which is he doesn't want to debate her again. He couldn't handle her truth, and he's running away. And that brings us to some wisdom from the great Bob Marley. You're running and you're running and you're running away, but you can't run away from yourself. Sometimes lyrics have psychological wisdom, and sometimes they have, we think, political application. Donald Trump cannot run away from who he is and who he has been for some time. The fact that he is less aware of how it's playing, that it played poorly, that he's been allegedly fighting with his own senior campaign leadership about that he went out in the spin room, as we showed you, to try to say what maybe others wouldn't, to double down on things like pet eating. He can't run away from himself, and he's certainly, based on the evidence we have, not about to change into a different, more reflective, more accountable person at this late stage in his career and in this campaign. Now, Harris is in Pennsylvania, which is a critical state, and we can tell you some of the numbers. The Harris campaign is pouring money in, which also speaks to the fact that it's still close and that Republicans and Donald Trump have very good fundamentals in that state. Look at this from the Times. I wanted to show you this. A quarter of the ad spending through Election Day going to Pennsylvania, which just reminds you how that delegate-rich state matters. And even if they think, the Harris campaign, she's doing great, even if they think in polling she might be up by a hair, they cannot risk losing Pennsylvania. There is not a good map for them, if you lose Pennsylvania, to win the Electoral College. Now, I've mentioned, and I said this, and our colleagues talked about this, we talked about it together Tuesday night and Wednesday. More than one person on this channel said, here's how she won, look at the substance and the facts, but we have to wait to see what the voters think, because debates are not scored by the media or a judge. There's no jury like in court that comes out with a ruling the next day. They are judged more broadly by the public over the days and even sometimes weeks ahead. Well, we are ending the week, and I can show you over half surveyed say that Donald Trump stumbled and did not appear sharp. You can see, look at the gap between the 52% that say he stumbled and only about 1 out of 5 total voters who said they watched or were familiar with the debate said that about Harris. Americans also weighing in on the winner, a whopping 53% say Harris won. Only 24% could muster that view for Trump. And in fairness to Donald Trump, I mentioned this earlier this week, I will say it again now. So like a candidate, sometimes we repeat things. 24% of people familiar with the debate saying Trump won means a heck of a lot of people who have voted for Trump in the past or are Republicans don't think he won. Didn't say that to a pollster or a friend or family member. That is a problem for Donald Trump. It is a shockwave. It doesn't mean those people won't vote for him, but it certainly depresses even the enthusiasm of his past voters. And then this brings me to the commentariat. We live in a world where we hear, especially from the MAGA side, constant lies. It became a litmus test to lie about the results of the 2020 election. Donald Trump was the loser, and one of the litmus tests was to publicly lie and claim he wasn't the loser, but he was. Donald Trump is the loser of the 2020 election. Fact. He was the loser. I said it then, I'll say it now. many prominent Republicans trying to keep power or influence in MAGA world either won't say it or even directly lie about it. Low bar here, but some of those same people who some of the time have flirted with that appear to feel the need to just tell the truth about the fact that they think Trump blew it. And maybe that's because they feel like telling the truth, or maybe it's because, as I told you, some want to get through to him through the television screen and say, hey, big guy, you keep doing this, you might be more likely to lose. Some even acknowledging where Harris hit her mark. Take a look.
Whoever did debate prep for Donald Trump should be fired.
He decisively lost it.
He was terrible.
He took all the bait and none of the opportunities. She pivoted better.
People saw, oh, actually, she's an intelligent, capable person who has a point of view on issues.
On immigration, that's where she derailed him.
Vice President Harris clearly won the debate.
I thought Harris, won rather decisively.
Vice President Harris was clearly well prepared, practiced on the offensive much of the night.
Make no mistake about it. Trump had a bad night.
They talk about migrants eating dogs and cats. I mean, that's something Saturday Night Live would do.
He went down a few cat and dog holes rather than rabbit holes.
I think that he loses because of this debate performance.
Wow. Every voice you just heard was either a full-blown conservative who spent their entire adult career as a conservative or someone in the Fox News firmament. Okay? So you have Bill O'Reilly and Frank Luntz and RFK Jr., who's just recently endorsed Donald Trump and is trying to help him, he thinks. I could have showed you many more minutes of people who are just independent experts or voters, let alone Democrats and liberals, but that's just on the conservative side. Now imagine what they're saying to each other with the cameras off. Imagine what they're saying in private. And again, if RFK Jr. is saying that in public and he's literally appearing on a stage with Donald Trump, he has the ability to speak to him and the campaign. Imagine what they're telling the campaign. Hey, no wonder there's not going to be another debate. If they don't think they can improve his performance, nobody wants to let him go get smacked around intellectually and politically by the vice president again. Then there's the punchline thing. We show you culture on this program because we do have an interesting culture, but we also show it to you because it tells you where things are. If it's a punchline to a national and bipartisan audience that Trump did poorly, you know that that is something people are aware of.
Nothing sounds more presidential than screaming, they're eating the cats and the dogs. I mean, I think that was Thomas Jefferson, right, originally.
If you were at a cocktail party and your friend said, trans immigrants are eating dogs in Ohio, you would say, what the f*** are you talking about, Stu?
Even Nickelodeon had a debate feed where every time Trump screamed about eating dogs, he got slimed.
They're eating the dogs. The people that came in, they're eating the cats. They're eating the pets of the people that live there.
Donald Trump is a known entertainer. And for a long period of time, he was the one telling the jokes. Some of them were mean-spirited. You might not have ever found them funny, but he was driving some of that. He is now completely the butt of the jokes. He is the joke. You can bet that bothers him, but it also bothers the people around him who are trying to change the trajectory to make it more likely he could win. Another point that's really striking, whether you follow all of this on the internet or TikTok or just use newspapers and television, that's fine, but we are in a world where the media